Hello, science and magic. It is so good to be here and to be connecting with all of you. I hope that you're having a beautiful start to your new year. My name is Amanda Helen. This is my channel, Science and Magic. I love to talk about all things feminine embodiment, nervous system care, and how we can work more deliciously and approach our work in a more sustainable way. I also love to work in the realm of conscious creation, is what I like to call it, or manifestation. I think that we're always creating our lives, whether we're aware of it or not, with our thoughts, with our embodiments, with how we're navigating in our behaviors. So it's really helpful to take the time to reflect on these things, on our thoughts, on our embodiments, and on our behaviors. So today we're going to talk about a dreamier way of manifesting. And I find that the new year is typically about this like setting goals and creating this template to attain those goals. And it's really fiery and has a lot of discipline and it's really rigid in a lot of ways. And this is great. And this is definitely an aspect of how we can create. We can create through discipline, through striving, through trying, through setting our mind to something and going there. But that energy is out of balance in our society in general, and it's actually out of season. And we're going to talk about some seasonal wisdom around January. So if you're tuning in, say hello. Hi, Alexandra. Thank you for saying hi. Happy 2024. Um, Typically, like some ideas of what I hear for about creating would be like, okay, I want to lose this many pounds. And to do that, I will go to the gym X amount of days of the week and I will eat this food and I will hit my goal in this really logical way. Or maybe it is, attracting X amount of clients. And I'm going to do this by creating this content and releasing it on YouTube this many times and posting on Instagram this many times and sending out this many emails with this specific campaign. So this creates a doing that is really inspired solely by the mind, in my opinion. And the action is driven by discipline alone. And what happens is that you start to peter out. You start to feel like, oh, I feel exhausted right now from this trying, because it can give us a lot of energy in the beginning. It can feel really good, and there's a lot of merit to this. But, especially if you're a feminine essence being, and many of you who are following my channel identify as that, this way of creating can only last so long. Um, this idea of like the efforting and the challenge and the perseverance, they're masculine traits. They really are. So I'm going to talk about what it looks like to create in like a juicy, soft, more pleasurable way, and one that's actually inspired and in alignment with nature. So before I do that, I want to talk about my coaching program. I have a three month program that has curriculum already built in. I've taken students through it on two separate occasions for 2 years, and it is wonderful. I linked it in the chat, and I will link it in the comments if you're watching the replay. It's also in the show notes. And what this is oh, I released a poll actually on my community board. I forgot to say this, and I'm actually curious. I'm going to look it up and see what the final results are. I asked where you're at in your manifestation process, and the question was, which best describes you in your vision? Okay, interesting. That's great. 49% of you said, I know what I want and am well on my way. That's amazing. Almost 50% of my subscribers are feeling like they're on their way to what they want. Incredible. 24%, I know what I want, but I have no idea how to get there. I know what I want, but I have no idea how to get there. I can help you with this. 14%, I know what I want and how to get there. I just lack time and energy. I can help you with that. 10%, I don't know what I want, but I know that something needs to change. That I can help with too. And 3% says my life is exactly as I wish it to be and nothing needs to change. So I'm curious if you're tuning in live where you fall on this spectrum. Like, where are you at in regards to your vision? Do you want something to change? Do you not want it to change? Do you know how to get there? Do you not know? Do you lack time? Let me know where you're at. Hi, Rebecca. So, this program, what I do is I use principles of embodiment through yoga, through movement, through visioning. So, this has to do with rewiring the brain and how we're visioning, and really nervous system care to create more clarity. And once this clarity is created, once we connect to like the heart once you connect to the heart of you, then from that place, a vision starts to arise. And this vision, I call it your sacred vision, you can start to craft it and to build it and to decide what you want and what it feels like and what the world will see you as once you get it. And you start to vision and do the inner work. And then, depending on what that vision is, I can assist you with actually bringing it into external reality. So it's 3 months, it's linked in the chat. Check it out. I'm so excited about it. Hi, Taylor. Don't know how to get there, or I get close, but it slips away. So it sounds like there might be a limiting belief or a behavioral pattern, Rebecca, that is standing in your way. And this is where having some sort of external support can be really helpful. So it could be you hiring a coach, it could be you finding an accountability partner, like a friend or something, to say, like, hey, talk it through and share what's happening. And then they can point out, oh, maybe you believe this, or oh, I see you keep doing this. And a friend who's really honest and can be that mirror for you. So let's talk about where we're at seasonally. And this is inspired by my girl, Sophia. Sophia's been on my channel a few times, and she is a trained acupuncturist, certified acupuncturist. She is very um, well versed in traditional Chinese medicine, and she takes a lot of her wisdom from the Su Wen, which is an ancient text about the seasons and the wisdom of the seasons. So I feel really connected to the seasons, and I think it's because I live in Minnesota, and in Minnesota, the seasons are very clear. Like in the fall, the leaves turn. In the winter, there's a lot of snow. The spring, you can see all the green sprouting, and in the summer, it is hot and it is humid. So I feel very in tune with the seasons. They really affect my life. But even if you're in a place where the seasons aren't so direct like that, there's still an energy of the earth, a turning of the earth that we're all connected to. And whenever my clients work with me, I take this into account in addition to where they're at in their hormonal cycle, because hormones operate in cycles and in seasons, and we have seasons of hormone cycles. And I have a video about the female hormone cycle on my channel as well. But we're in January right now, and I think we all felt it in December. It was like getting dark and dark and dark and dark and dark, all the way until the solstice. It was the darkest day of the year. And this energy of getting really dark is referred to as yin. And yin is the more feminine principle of passivity, of relaxing, of resting, of rejuvenating, of receiving, receptivity. Whereas yang, the sun is now returning because the days are starting to get brighter. And so the yang is that more energy of activation and doing and striving and pushing and persevering. And so the yang is still really, really gentle right now, but it's returning. The light is returning. So what it feels like to me culturally is we go through this really busy holiday season, and it's a time where we're really supposed to be resting and rejuvenating and taking things slow, but holidays are very go do this and go get this and check this off the list and go to the store and meet this person. And these moments of intimacy and intimate conversation and community are really important for winter. But um I think then there's a period of resting. It feels like after there's a period of like a week or two after the holidays, then you're just resting and recovering and gathering your energy for the new year. And the new year bursts, and we're like, what are your goals? Who do you want to be? And how do you want to get there? And I'm like, easy, easy. Like, I think it's really good to have goals and New Year's, but I think it's important to remember that we're still in this really soft time of year. We're still in this rejuvenative time of year where the yin energy is really strong. And Sophia shared this video in my membership portal for seasonal living for January, and I was so inspired by it. That's the whole reason I'm here talking, is because when she shared this video and when I listened to it, I was like, oh, this totally captures what I'm feeling right now. Because it's not about just doing nothing. There's a different way to manifest, and it has a lot to do with visioning and going inward. It's really important to rest right now, because if we're depleting this growing young, so the sun that's rising in the body, then there won't be much of it once the spring comes and the summer comes and the harvest comes in the fall. And we're depleting these really deep internal sources. So the first inquiry here is like, am I resting still? Like, am I taking time to rejuvenate? Am I taking time to just be still? Am I taking time to replenish and to take things slow? And is rest built in my schedule? So I do want to name that. And then she shares a quote that says, from the Su Wen, it says, keep the spirit hiding during this time and subsiding, like having a private consideration in heart, but not revealing, or seeming to have a definite idea in mind for meeting a situation. So, or seeming to have a definite idea in mind for meeting a situation. That is something that the Su Wen advises against. So this is letting a vision start to form in this really, really deep way from this internal space, from this rest, but not getting too attached to the sequence of how that vision is going to come into place, and really being careful not to do too much. But we are in Capricorn season right now. So if you're into astrology, Capricorn is all about structure. So structure is really good right now. But what kind of structure are we creating? And I'm going to give some steps into how I approach manifestation during this time of year. I'm going to be honest, in general, in my life, mostly this is how I manifest. And some seasons are really, really heavy on the pushing and the action and the discipline. And some are more of this floaty, this visiony, this feeling, this sensing. So step one is just to pause and take your life in. Just pause for a moment and breathe it in, and see it as like a mountain range, as this beautiful landscape. And there's peaks and there's valleys and there's a sky behind it and there's a cloud. And rather than being in that mountain range and climbing, doing the hike up to the peak and really being involved in it, you're taking a step back and you're looking at it. That's it. You're just breathing, looking at the full picture and being. You're not strategizing, you're not thinking, you're just integrating everything that has been created so far. And it's so few and far between that I think we're invited to do this in our current society, just to take it in, like, wow, my life. And I mean, for me personally, I feel like this past year has been so huge for me. If I just sit and I take it in, I'm like, I mean, I got married, I had a baby, we moved into a new house, I got a new car. Like everything was new gym, new workout routine. My body feels new after having a baby. My brain feels new, like my spirit feels new. And so I'm just sitting and I'm just looking and I'm like, wow, look at this mountain range. And even if you didn't have all these crazy changes, like this isn't needed to like look at the mountain range of your life. Like you can still just see your essence and you sit with it. And it's almost like you see that looking back at you. So you're receiving it. Again, this is that state of receptivity. You're not just gazing at the mountain range, but it's looking back at you. And from that place, you connect into your heart and you feel your heart. And you feel your heart sensing this life in front of you, this beautiful landscape. And you feel it glowing. And then you feel the landscape looking at your heart and feeling your heart and sensing your heart. So that's literally just step one. And it's being with something in a state of receptivity. It's this idea of, yes, I'm looking at this thing, but it's also seeing me and I receive its glance, I receive its gaze. So it puts you into a state of feminine energy is what it does. And then from the heart, in stillness, let a vision arise. So rather than tapping into the mind and asking the mind to create the life that you want, and these creations, I talk about this in my program, and this is something I work a lot with my clients in my program. Like, what does your spirit want? What does your heart want? Because the mind wants what it's conditioned to want. The mind wants what the neural pathways have been wired to want throughout your whole life. And often that has to do with what our parents, our primary caregivers wanted for us. It has to do with what society tells us to want. It has a lot to do with the content that we intake and what influencers are telling us that we should want. But if you pull into your heart, if you drop into your heart and you spend some time there and you pose the question, like, what do you want? What do you want to create? Let something arise. It could be a specific feeling. And remember, this can be foggy, right? It doesn't need to be super well defined right now. It could be crystal clear for you as well. And again, this is something I can help clients with, is crystallizing a vision, because it can be really frustrating to be in life and say, I know something needs to change, but I'm not sure what that is. And it's been felt like that for a long time, and I feel stuck there. So I totally hear you, and I can help with that. But you want to let this vision or this intention arise, and it could be like a specific goal, it could be a general life purpose, but let it be fluid, let it be that feminine, just creativity. It doesn't need to be super sharp and super logical. Love this perspective, especially Capricorn being my sun sign. Amazing. This soft and gentle way of structure resonates deeply. Yes, a soft and gentle structure. And structure feels so good to those of us who are soft or fluid, because it can feel like, I mean, it can be fun, right? It's like freeing, glad we can just go wherever, anywhere, but structure feels supportive to that fluidity. And I'm so excited to share with you guys what the soft structure is going to be. Please give this video a like, by the way. So then, step 3 is you want to feel into who you are in the vision. So it's not just about that vision. It's who you are in the vision. So I'm just going to give an example as I go through this, because examples are helpful. Let's say that when you connected into your heart, you felt, oh my gosh, my heart wants to finally move into my dream home. And you feel that vision so clearly, like it's time. It's time that I manifest my dream home, that I manifest the funds to be able to afford my dream home, that it finds me, that it looks at me, that it's manifesting me too. And you really feel that. So that's the vision. And it came from your heart, and it didn't come from your brain pattern, from your parent telling you that you need to get your dream home by this age. Like, it didn't come from there. It came from your true heart, from your heart of hearts. Then you want to feel into who you are in your dream home. Who are you in your dream home? So what are you feeling in your body when you envision yourself in the home of your dreams? Okay, so you might feel safe. You could feel cozy. I'm going to write these words down because I want to use them as I continue to walk you through this example. Being in your dream, safe, cozy. You could feel inspired, warm. And then you can even get specific in like what body parts you're feeling this. So, oh, I feel so warm in my heart, or I feel grounded through my legs. I feel my brainwave frequency slowing because of the safety. So see how I'm bringing the specific body sensations? And then the next question would be, what beliefs do you have about life in this vision? So what beliefs does this version of you have about the life that she's living? This could be, let's see, if I was in my dream home. I love my home right now. I love it so much. The beliefs could be, I am always provided for. It's easy for me to manifest the things that I want. The universe is always looking out for me. So you name these beliefs, that version of you. Now, this could be hard because we have the wiring right now that has created the circumstance that we're in. So to get new wiring in the brain, we often have to reach into external support or external inspiration. So you could look at someone who is really skilled at manifesting the thing that you want and see what their beliefs are and take note of how they are in their body and learn from them, because it can be hard just to be on your own and be like, well, what are these? If you had those beliefs, honestly, you probably manifest the thing already. So let this one seep and soak, and just kind of simmer. How are those words? The next one would be, how do other people experience you upon getting this manifestation? So being in a dream home, being in the home that you've always thought of, how do other people experience you? They experience you as fresh when you walk into a space because you're so well rested in your perfect bed and you got ready in your dream vanity and had this like amazing hot shower. They experience you as put together because you have all of your clothes in your dream closet. They experience you as really calm because you feel so deeply safe and nourished, and there's this beautiful roof over your head. That's how people experience you. And then the other question that I came up with was, what does it feel like to wake up in this new version of yourself? So obviously, if you're in a new home, it feels like you can really get into this. Like, I'm really rested and I smell, that smell of fresh coffee downstairs in my dream kitchen. My whole body was able to rejuvenate in a way I've never felt before in any other space. I can hear the birds chirping outside, and I can think of all of the nature outside of my home holding me and holding my family. I feel like there's angels in every single nook and cranny of the home. So you can just start to riff into like how you're going to feel when you wake up in this space and when you go to bed. Now, if you're not doing a dream home, okay, let's say you wake up and what you're manifesting your dream relationship or marriage, or you're manifesting your dream job. Like, how would you wake up next to that person? How would you wake up knowing that you get to go to this type of work? So thinking about what feelings you would feel right away. So I want you to see that like all of these prompts are very much based off of energy, embodiment, and feeling. They're not so much of like, what would you do to get your dream home? Like, what steps would you take? It's very much like, how are you feeling? And we can work this through the example I gave of, okay, I want to look this way in the new year. I want to lose this much weight, right? So this very linear. I would, first of all, I might take away like the number of this and I would say, I want to feel lighter. I want to feel more athletic, like I have more energy or something like that. Okay, so then you take it through all the questions. What are you feeling in your body? What beliefs do you have about life? Like the beliefs would be, my body's amazing. My body is in perfect balance. It knows exactly what to do. Like I don't need to control my body. Um, how do other people experience you in this lightness? And what does it feel like to wake up in this body? So these are very different prompts right now than this like, okay, drive hard, go, discipline. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this or if any questions are arising, if I'm making sense. So step 4 then, once you do this, is you align with this identity. This is the structure you're creating. This is the soft structure. You want to create a structure in your life to become that person versus have the external result, if that makes sense. So your structure will hold you to become the person to be in the dream home. The structure will hold you to become the person who naturally goes to the gym and works out and the body naturally forms. Because a lot of times it's not that there's not doing in this. The doing, when you go with the embodiment and the feeling first, comes from a very different place when it's heart-centered and natural than when you are really mentally efforting it. And this is why people burn out, because they're mentally efforting so much that there's not that juice, there's not that satisfaction when they're doing it. They're not the person to do it yet. They're trying to squeeze the external environment to become that person when really they should become the person, and then the external environment will meet them, if that makes sense. So, what would this look like to become the person to be in the home of your dreams? You would do things to help you feel safe, to help you feel cozy, inspired, warm, grounded in your legs. So, what are some things that I would do to feel these things? To feel safe, I would do nervous system care. I would, depending on the level of trauma you experienced as a child, hire a therapist, do EMDR, work through that trauma. I would really be grateful for the home that I'm in now and feel the safety and the support of the walls around me now. I would regulate my nervous system as much as possible. So I would do a lot of yin yoga. To feel cozy, I have an electric fireplace, so I would turn on the fireplace and I would sit next to there with hot tea and a blanket, and I would feel the feeling of coziness in the environment that I'm in now. I would generate that feeling. Um, that's warmth too. So I would snuggle in blankets and I would snuggle in, really soft sweaters and make sure that I'm bundled up when I go outside, grounded through my legs. This might be I work my legs out at the gym to just get some blood flowing. I stretch them. I do leg stretching. I stretch out my feet. I give myself a foot massage, or I get a foot massage from my partner. I Anything that makes me feel in my legs. I was gonna say I go outside, but can't do that now because it's so if you're somewhere warm outside, you go outside barefoot and you feel grounded through your legs. So generate that feeling first. All of these things, brainstorm how you can generate and create a structure for yourself to feel those things as much as possible now. Like, this is the time to do that. So reach for those feelings. And it doesn't always take, like, to feel warm, I don't always need to like turn on my fireplace and create tea, make tea and cover in a blanket. Like, I could really sit with this and generate a vision of that and feel warm now. So you want to create a structure for yourself where you're accessing these embodiments regularly throughout the week. Um, then you want to think of the beliefs and like write these new beliefs as affirmations everywhere around you. And you could put them on your phone. You could record them as a meditation. You could create post-it notes and post them in the bathroom. As you're getting ready on the mirror, you could put them on your desk. You could put them on your kitchen cupboard so you see them right away when you wake up. And start to feel this embodiment. Like, when you walk into a room, practice the embodiment now. Like, oh my gosh, when I walk into a room, I feel so steady. I feel so I am so put together. Like, be that person now. And then when you wake up, generate these emotions right away. As you do this, as it starts getting brighter and brighter and brighter outside, you start to become this person, then these ideas will come to you and you will approach the actions as the person who already has the thing versus the person who wants the thing. So, like, if you were looking, I'm going to find my dream home, some goals you might set in a traditional like way according to our society would be, I'm going to hire a real estate agent. I'm going to hop onto Zillow for the X amount of time, a day. I'm going to go to this many open houses. I'm going see how they're all action oriented, but you haven't changed your energy yet. So if you change your energy, then you'll feel inspired to take an action. So maybe from this place, as you practice these embodiments for the next month or so, things start to flow into your life. So and so has the perfect real estate agent for you to work with and recommends them. Or you run into this person at the coffee shop who's a real estate agent and it's so synchronistic and you just start working. Or you're driving through a neighborhood and you see a for sale sign on your dream home and it comes to you without even having to look at a million different places. So things start to be in flow and in synchrony. And then once you take action and you hire the real estate agent or you go into the open home, you are the person with the wiring, with the embodiment to draw the opportunity to you to be that person in that home. So step one that I have for you, just be with your life for a moment. Just look at it, take it in, feel it, sense it, see it sensing you. Step two, access your heart, and from your heart, let your vision arise. Let your most soul aligned desire show itself to you. And this might not happen immediately. You could pose the question and journal about it for several days and just let it slowly come to form. Feel who you are in the vision with these questions, like feel the embodiment of you. Don't connect to the vision, connect to you in the vision. And then create structure in your life to align with that identity. So, whether that's setting aside a few minutes every day to generate the feelings or a feeling, or whether it's creating, some sort of structure for you to sit by the fireplace and feel that warmth and coziness, or stretch out your legs several times a week. Um, Whatever that is for you, create a structure for you to become the person in your vision. And then your vision will come into form. And the last piece of this is to really just release the actual vision, if that makes sense. Like, let it be an inspiration and a muse for you to generate the feelings. But the whole reason we want the vision in the first place is to feel the feelings, to be the person that we are in the vision. We think it's going to help us feel a certain way. But if we can feel that way now, then we might attract something even more magnificent, even more amazing. So if you're too clingy to that vision, if you're too graspy towards it, it'll create a really rigid energy. Let it be foggy. It's okay if it's foggy, if it's okay if it's kind of unclear, but you just focus on nourishing your precious energy and playing, playing pretend and bringing pretend into reality. Let me know if you have any questions. That's what I have for you today. I can stick around and answer any questions, or I'll pop off. I'm going to try to live stream a few times next week as well. I'm going to do another one about manifestation. I have several videos I created about manifestation below in the show notes in the description. If you're listening to this on my podcast, in the show notes. There's 4 different videos, kind of the curriculum I walk my clients through. So remember, if you want support in creating during this season, and if you want that earth aligned support, that's something I'm really passionate about. If you want a witness to your spirit, to your energy, and some guidance as to how and what you're going to create, I would love to talk to you more about that. I've included the link to my coaching program in the chat. It's pinned. It's also in the show notes, in the description. So let me know if you have questions. There's also a 3-session exploratory coaching package with me. If you don't want to commit to 3 months right away, if you just want to do 3 sessions, we can get a lot done in 3 sessions. It's pretty amazing. So you could check that out as well. There's a free manifestation guide in the description and show notes as well, if you want to just go and start brainstorming some ideas of what you want to generate in this new and this beautiful year. Shifting the focus to the internal world rather than the external. Exactly. It's all internal right now. It's so internal and it's about receiving. It is, yes, yang energy is returning. Yes, the sun is rising from within, but we're also receiving vision. We're receiving ideas. We're receiving inspired action. We're not just going and doing it. And that sort of creating, because feminine energy receives, like the moon receives light to reflect light. Feminine energy receives ideas to do. So we receive first and then we do. We don't just do. I love to feel cozy when I work in the winter. Me too. I love winter. I know, I think I'm kind of strange because I really like winter. Love this. I'm so glad, Amber. Welcome in. As a projector, do you find your manifestations take longer? Not necessarily. I mean, I'm just thinking about the year that I had, and it was so fast. Let me know why you asked that. I'm curious. Do you feel that, Rebecca? I think like if you're not in alignment as a projector, they can take longer. So if you're doing it the way where you effort as a projector, it's going to drain you. Whereas if you get into that aligned embodiment, and then you're, as a projector, attracting the invitations and you're attracting the opportunities, that'll come pretty fast. Like nothing about this past year I efforted. It all just happened. And in fact, it took a lot of nervous system care for me to keep up with it and to be able to hold it in my energy. Like I just had to surrender, like I didn't strive. I feel like I just got gifted a whole family, a home, a whole new life. And it's taken a lot of intention for me to shift my identity into that so quickly. It seems like my Manny generator friends manifest quickly. Well, probably because they can manifest how society tells us to manifest. Like they can do the thing, they can shift the energy. They have this like internal this internal energy support. But as projectors, we really have to go into the embodiment. We have to let ourselves rejuvenate and rest and then act from that place and act when we're invited to act. So it's really different. And it's not a type of manifestation that our society has coded yet. So a lot of projectors, yeah, there's the when that bitterness comes in, like, okay, if you're not in alignment, you start to feel bitter. Okay. Well, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining in and for sharing. Again, please like this video, leave a comment. You can join my Instagram broadcast channel. I share little voice memos there or polls. I love doing that. That link is below as well. So I hope that you all have a